Hello, hello, evolutionary women and the men who love evolutionary women and empower them. It is Catherine here, back with another GIFEW Evolutionary Woman Entrepreneur Award nominee. This time, the amazing Karin Wilson from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, a very beautiful part of the world that I almost managed to get to in January, but didn't. So I will definitely come back and visit her. Karin is a stand for communities and helps them establish vision that fuels collaboration and creativity. And I know as an organization like GIFEW that has a really large vision, like transforming humanity through the aligned power of evolving women, I know that vision is really what drives us. So I can just imagine bringing vision to community is like a really powerful tool for transformation. So Karin, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, I'm so honored. Very honored. Thank you, Catherine.
Oh, yeah, I've been dying to meet you like all week, so I'm so glad we could make this happen. So Karin, share with us in your own words, who you are and your stand in the world and the difference you love to make.
Sure. I was a journalist for many years. I used to specialize in what I called, well, every journalist does usually at some point, death and dismemberment. It kind of gets a bit weighty after a while. And I decided that wasn't the person that I wanted to be. To keep going, I would have had to kind of cut out my heart, essentially, to be able to do what needs to be done. And I decided that wasn't going to be who I was. So I ended up leaning into my spiritual practices, and through that moved towards visioning and used that tool to help heal a community that was going through some really difficult times where there was actually a split within the community. And being able to help the people there sort of see that they were actually all aiming for the same thing. And all of that came through
Mm,
visioning, and it opened up dialogue. It opened up new ideas. It opened up creativity. And people were able to see each other as people, not as positions, positionary situations. And we
yeah.
see a lot of polarity today. So this kind of work is, I think, really important, especially now where we are seeing such a polarized world in so many, well, all over the world.
Yeah, it really feels like boxes and ends of extremes, right? I'm American born um and Trump, well, started with Trump and is now a full-on onslaught attack on women in the United States. And I've been living the last 20 years in Britain. Brexit, like, I've
Right.
really, like, at a
Yeah.
personal cellular level been like, how come all of the places I love the most are, like, eating themselves up from, like, the inside? And when you were sharing how you work with communities, like, I speak to women every day, and I'm so present to how much more similar we people are than different. But, like,
Mhm.
out there in what I would call the ordinary world, like the day-to-day world, the kind of what you
Mhm.
see on TV and what people like most everyday people's experiences, you would have this experience like everyone's for, against, here, there, with you,
Yeah.
against you. And Karin, tell us more about like the future that you see. Like, what are your plans for your work, and how do you see it growing? Because I'm really excited to I'm really
Well,
excited to see it
I'm
grow.
working with spiritual communities right now, but I think that there's big room in corporate communities as well. People don't see that their workspace, this is where people talk about having their work partner, their work husband, their work wife. That tells you how tight a community workplaces actually are. And so, even there, if they can get into this place, not the old school strategic thinking visioning, but a new place where visioning is the beginning of creativity that you don't even know is asking to be expressed. And so then people can start truly working collaboratively instead of from the head, they're working from the heart, and they're seeing what's possible within that collective. So
Yeah.
corporations are communities, cities are communities. And what I'm looking for is, what we all are looking for, which is an authenticity. And it occurred to me not that long ago that city is at the end of authenticity, right? If you look at that word, it actually ends with city, and that's the community piece of authenticity. And when you go into a place, whether it's workplace, a city, a community, you feel the vibration of that collective, and that tells you where you are. And so being able to work with that instead of against it is kind of what I want to help coach people with, so that they can then have their own experience of it and move from
Yeah.
there.
Wow. As a former corporate HR director, I can say yes, 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 please, please, please. There are so many workplaces out there with people suffering where that can make like a real difference. And I always felt in any organization I worked for, I always really felt deeply the organization's soul, but you can't
Mm,
really, but I didn't have the language. I only now more recently have the language of that. And you can't, it would have been really weird to talk about like the soul
yeah,
is sad here. Like it's a sad
yeah,
soul. Like it would have
yeah,
been weird, but
yeah.
you're really
We're
bringing
close.
kind of,
We're right on the edge of it now, you know?
yeah,
People are ready for it. They weren't 10 years ago. They
no,
weren't 15 years ago. They were at the beginning, but they
yeah,
weren't actually ready to make that evolutionary, you know, like you say, evolutionary women entrepreneurs, right? They weren't ready for the evolutionary shift. And I think people are now. They're tired of the polarity. And so what do we
mm,
do? People are like, what do? We know we don't want this. What's next? And
yeah,
so
yeah,
this is one of those tools that you can use to create what's next in a positive
absolutely.
way.
Oh, amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, Karin is nominated for an award. Vote for her here. A vote for Karin is a vote for communities and vision and a beautiful shared future. So, Karin, thank you so much again for being here today, for making the difference that you do,
Mm.
and for just being you out there in the world, you
Oh.
beautiful soul. So,
Thank you,
thank
Catherine.
you. Good luck at the awards. We'll see you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.